Alright, so in this video we are gonna create the route for the update him function, and then we're also gonna create the change password. So first of all, let's go in and create a route with a post request and then say update user, and then let's put that on the social user controller update. Okay, great. So now that that's done, let's go in and create the update password. So we will just call this function change password, and of course we want to have a request in of request, and we can also just go in and create the post route now already. And another thing that's worth noticing is the reason why we only create routes to get and retrieve data is because when you create an API, is basically the point is you have two kind of routers. You have one from the front end and you have one for the back end. We are creating the routers for the back end here, which is basically just retrieving data we need to make this application work properly. In this scenario is the user update, the change password, all of that, login and all of that, and then we basically display that in a visual way with the front end. So that's what we're doing. So let's get into changing the password. Alright, so to start out with, let's go in and import the inside the element here, and then let's go inside support facades hash. We want to use that. Okay, great. Then we want to go all the way down to change the password function here, and we first of all want to do like in the user function here and actually go in and get the ID of the user. So you can pass in the ID like this, or you can pass it in as request in as a hidden field. We can also do that. It's all up to you, but what we want to do now is we want to basically go in and we want to go in and pass in this ID here, and then we want to go in and say user equals user find ID. Great. And then we want to go in and basically say if user, and then in this scenario we want to go in and say request validate and then we basically just want to go in here and say password is gonna be required. Okay, so another thing we want to do is we want to go in here and then set validate to null, and then we want to say validate is gonna be equal to this one here. Okay, great. We can actually pass this variable inside here instead in this case. So what we want to go in now and do is we want to say if validate, or we can actually just, sorry about that, we can actually just do it like this. So if validate, and then we want to basically go in here and go in and say user password is going to be equal to hash make user, request password. Now there is one thing we also want to check before we do this, is basically we want to go in and check that this is not the same as the old password, and then we want to check that password confirm matches here. So let's go in and do that now. Alright, so what we want to check now is actually pretty simple. We want to go in here and basically say if hash the old password, which is the one we're gonna send in as old password, is the same as the current password, then we are gonna validate, and then we're gonna return. And then we're gonna basically go in here and we're gonna create an else statement first and return here. So in the scenario that it doesn't work, we're gonna say return response JSON. Then we're gonna return with JSON response, and then we're gonna return with errors. And we're gonna say root error is gonna be validated. Now, the question is, if you would like to do like this, we could actually go in and create this as two different functions, which we actually will do. Like, this was just one way to show you how to do it, because this is like the fewest line of code, but this doesn't give a specific error message. So in the case that the password doesn't match, we would actually like to create an error personalized for that, and therefore we are gonna do it like this, which will give a more personalized user experience again. So basically we want to go in here and say that please enter your current password. All right, great. And then you can maybe formulate this in a better way, and then we can basically go in and say the new password here, and then we can go in and save this and return a good response with JSON. So what we can do now is actually go in and say return response this, and then just change this to success. It's gonna be true. Well, even thought we could test this all in Postman now. I was actually thinking of waiting with that one more video, because in the next video we are gonna basically send in an email validation, which is gonna be a shorter video, and I think that will be a really good fit for this, because then we send an email validation, and then we are basically gonna test that. We're gonna test that one here, and then we are gonna create like testing like fewer times instead of testing a lot. So like create more functions and then test. I think that's maybe a better way to approach it. And again, I would always recommend to use Postman if you do backend work before you push it forward to the person that's going to use it on the front end. The reason why is because if there's any errors, it's better to discover it right now instead of waiting for the errors to be discovered by the front end person, and then they have to hand it back to you. So later, discover the errors first using Postman, and then start on the front end work. This might be different when you work alone, but trust me, when you get into the real world, you want to be able to test the code yourself before you hand it to the person that's dealing with the front end. Because if they get any errors that's not supposed to happen, then you're gonna be in a little bit of troubles, because then they will be like, yeah, but there's an error, and then you will have to do more work again, and that's just not ideal. It's better to get everything right, or as much as possible right at first, and then instead of having to just get someone to try to make it work with them, and then they have to spend time on figuring out if it's the error with the front end or with the back end or whatever it is. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next video.